You make decent money. You are not irresponsible. And yet, somehow, the wealth never arrives. By the end of this, you will understand why it was never about your salary. Why people earning half what you make retire richer. Why the smartest person you know is still broke. Here is the truth nobody tells you at this level. Wealth is not a math problem. It is a psychology problem with a math-shaped disguise. 10 levels. From the paycheck loop to the quiet rich. Let us begin. Level 1, the paycheck loop. The money arrives on Friday. By Tuesday it has somewhere to be. Rent, groceries, the phone bill, the subscription you forgot about until it charged. Not wasteful spending, just living. And living at this level costs exactly what you earn. Sometimes more. You are not bad with money. You are trapped in a system that was designed to consume exactly what you produce. The paycheck loop is not a personal failure. It is a structure. And you cannot escape a structure you cannot see. This is level 1. Most people live here their entire lives and call it normal. It is not normal. It is a loop. Level 2, the invisible tax. You are losing money you never see leave. Not to the government. To convenience. The coffee that is $6 because you did not make it at home. The food delivery that costs $34 for a $14 meal. The late fee on the bill you forgot because you were busy surviving the last one. None of these feel like decisions. They feel like Tuesday. But Tuesday happens 52 times a year. And 52 Tuesdays of $40 in invisible spending is $2,080 gone before you ever had a plan for it. The invisible tax does not announce itself. It just makes sure you arrive at the end of every year exactly where you started. Tired? And wondering why the number never changes. Level 3, the upgrade trap. Here is the truth nobody tells you at level 3. Every time your income goes up, your lifestyle is waiting. You get a raise. Within 90 days, you have a slightly better apartment, a slightly newer car, slightly more expensive habits. The raise disappears into a more comfortable version of the same financial position. Economists call this lifestyle creep. You will not feel it creeping. You will feel it in 2 years when you are earning $15,000 more than you were and somehow still tight at the end of the month. Same tightness. Different address. The upgrade trap is invisible because every upgrade feels earned. And it was. But earned comfort spent on lifestyle is not the same as earned progress. The person who keeps the old apartment for one more year after the raise, that person is building. You upgraded. They invested the difference. Level 4, the performance debt. You are spending money to look like you have money. The watch, the restaurant, the holiday posted before you finished paying for it. You think you are being aspirational. Here is what is actually happening. You are borrowing from the future version of yourself to fund the image of the current one. The future version will pay that debt with interest, financial and psychological. Performance debt is the most expensive kind because it compounds in both directions. The money leaves your account. And the performance locks you in, because now the people around you expect a version of you that requires constant funding. You cannot afford to stop, so you keep going. And the gap between who you perform and who you actually are gets wider every month. Level 5, the emergency that never leaves. Here is the truth nobody tells you at level 5. You do not have a money problem. You have a buffer problem. One unexpected bill, $400, $800, $1,200, and the whole month collapses. The car repair that breaks the rent. The medical bill that becomes a credit card balance that becomes a minimum payment that becomes a permanent fixture. People without a buffer do not make bad financial decisions. They make expensive ones. Because without a buffer, every emergency becomes a loan. And every loan costs more than the emergency did. The people who seem to handle money calmly are not more disciplined than you. They have 3 months of expenses sitting somewhere doing nothing. That nothing is doing everything. It is the difference between a setback and a spiral. Level 6. The comfort subscription. Your salary just jumped $20,000. Within 3 months, your spending jumped $19,000. You do not notice it happening. Nobody does. What you notice 2 years later is that you still feel tight at the end of the month on twice the income you used to dream about. This is not weakness. This is how comfort works. Comfort expands to fill income the way water fills a container. Automatically. Without decision. Without drama. The container just fills and you look down one day and wonder where the space went. The quiet rich do not have bigger containers. They put a lid on the container the moment income arrives. Automatic transfer. Investment first. Life funded from what remains. That lid is the difference between earning more and building more. Level 7. The knowledge that stays theoretical. Here is the truth nobody tells you at level 7. You already know what to do. Index funds. Emergency fund. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. You have read it. You have watched the videos. You have nodded at the advice. And then Monday came and the advice stayed theoretical. Because knowing and doing are not separated by information. They are separated by identity. You do not yet see yourself as someone who invests. You see yourself as someone who is going to invest. One day, when things settle, when the timing is better, the timing never gets better. The things never settle. And one day is the most expensive address in finance. The people who are building right now are not smarter than you. They just stopped waiting to feel ready. Level 8, the wrong scorecard. You are measuring wealth with the wrong instrument. The car is visible. The investment account is not. The holiday is photographable. The index fund is not. The renovation makes people say wow when they visit. The brokerage statement arrives in an email no one else opens. So you optimize for the visible. Because the visible brings approval. And approval feels like progress even when it is the opposite of it. The quietly wealthy drive ordinary cars. Not because they cannot afford better. Because they stopped measuring themselves with instruments designed for other people's eyes. Your net worth is not your car. It is not your postcode. It is not the restaurant you can book without checking the price first. It is the number that exists when everything visible is subtracted. Most people never measure that number. Because they are afraid of what it will say. Level 9, the first real decision. You open an account. Not a current account. A brokerage account. You transfer an amount that feels too small to matter. It does not feel like wealth building. It feels like a gesture. Because that is exactly what it is. A gesture that tells the part of you that has always spent everything that something has changed. That there is a new instruction now. Some of this stays. Some of this works while you sleep. Some of this is no longer available to Tuesday. The first transfer is never about the amount. It is about the identity shift underneath the amount. You are no longer someone who earns and spends. You are someone who earns, keeps, and builds. That shift, quiet, unglamorous, witnessed by no one, is the most expensive thing you will ever do. Because it costs you the performance. And most people are not willing to pay that price. Level 10, the quiet rich. You will not see them at the table ordering the most expensive thing. You will see them ordering what they want without looking at the price. There is a difference. One is performance. One is freedom. They drive cars that are paid off. They live in homes that are not at the ceiling of what they qualified for. Their money makes decisions while they are sleeping. Nobody knows their number. They do not tell it. Not because they are ashamed. Because the number is not the point anymore. The number is just evidence of the identity. The identity of someone who decided, quietly, without applause, without anyone watching, that they were done performing wealth and ready to build it. That decision looks the same from the outside as every other Tuesday. But inside it is the only Tuesday that ever mattered. You make decent money. You are not irresponsible. And the wealth has not arrived yet. But you understand now why. It was never the salary. It was the loop. The invisible tax. The upgrade that ate the race. The performance that borrowed from your future. The emergency that kept you starting over. The comfort that filled every container you gave it. The knowledge that stayed theoretical. The scorecard you were using that measured everything except what mattered. The door is always open. The question is not whether you can get rich. The question is whether you are willing to become the person who can hold wealth. Quietly, invisibly, without applause. Most people never will. Not because they cannot. Because that person costs more than money. Subscribe. Every video on this channel puts you inside the level you are living right now so you can finally see it clearly. The next one might be the one that changes everything.